Sunny Dancer is brand new in cinemas across the UK. I've seen it, so let's talk about it. Hey, welcome back to the video, a brand new movie review. Today I'm talking all about Sunny Dancer. It's brand new in cinemas across the UK. I've seen it. Before we start talking about it, as always, a friendly reminder, these are just my thoughts. Don't let this dictate whether or not you go and see it. You might see it, feel totally differently to me. That's okay. Movies aren't made to cater for everyone. Without any further ado, let's start talking about this film. This was a film that I actually, I remember seeing it advertised. I was really quite excited for this film. And I saw it, starting screenings. And I was like, I'm super excited. I really want to check it out. They only have one screening of this a day, which is so irritating, but I got around to seeing it. And this was really beautiful. It's obviously a film that, the premise is cancer. It was written and directed by somebody who's experienced cancer, who funds a cancer charity. I think the whole team, the creatives, everyone behind this film were behind it for so many good reasons. Whether they have, relationship with it, experience. I just think it was really nice. There was a message played before the start of the film, which I think was also really nice. And he mentioned about the fact that this is not a cancer movie. This is a film about children, about the just relentless, raw, not rawless. Rawless is not a word, is it? Relentless, raw, real, fun, chaotic jarring side of kids. And cancer is not the most important thing and the most... it's not the be-all and the end-all about these kids. And I think that, is such... a good point, and it hits the nail on the head, really. I think this is a very beautiful film. Obviously, I'm very fortunate enough to not have experienced anything like this, and you can only sit here and say how difficult it must be. But I think this film really beautifully captures just the raw nature of what it's like living with or having lived with cancer. And even though, people in this film have been in remission, it shows how it still affects their life, and I think that's really, really impactful. I think this story does it in a really impactful way. We get to see what kids are like, and I think what's great about this film is it doesn't feel like a film. It just feels like we're sat there following these journeys of these kids, and I think it's just a nice demonstration of just kids being kids and getting along and making memories and all of this sort of stuff. Granted to say that not every kid is exactly like this in terms of they like drinking and they like, smoking or whatever. But, it's a nice reflection of just kids making memories, getting along with their friends, having just space filled with laughter and fun and energy. And I think that's kind of what this film is all about. And I feel like cancer is almost the side story, as it should be, because I don't feel like they wanted to make a film where cancer is like, oh my God, these kids have got cancer and it's so sad. And they want to make a film about kids, and cancer is part of that. Do you know what I mean? And I think that's really beautiful. I think the way they've done this film is so well thought out, so well portrayed. I don't know. I just think there's something about this film which is really beautiful. And I feel like I can only imagine somebody that has been through cancer, who's in remission, or has somebody that is going through cancer, somebody whose life is revolved around cancer or is being taken up by cancer, I think can only benefit from this film so much more, because it must feel so much more impactful. Not only does it cover this theme of cancer and stuff, it also covers this theme of kind of therapy, grief, loss, finding yourself. I feel like you don't have to just, have some sort of association with cancer to enjoy this film. And I think that's what's really beautiful about this film. There's so much for everyone to take out. Granted, cancer is a massive theme of this film, but there's so many stories and messages to be received from this film, even if you're just, somebody who's got no association with cancer. Like I'm very fortunate enough to not have had to deal with anything to do with cancer. So for me, I wasn't really gaining stories, to do with cancer, but I was really gaining these stories and messages to do with grief, to do with therapy, to do with finding yourself. Like all of these messages were really beautiful. And there's so much to learn about the cancer stories that are in this film, but there's also so much more. And I think grief is one that is really, really, especially towards the end of the film, they bring it up, and you know, they bring it up in the way that like parents grieve their children with cancer. And I think, you know, whether the parents lose their child or not to cancer, they're still grieving in some way. But then there's also grief in terms of family losses, friendship losses, and it's a really beautiful film. And I kind of sat there watching it and I thought, this is like, almost in a weird way, like Heartstopper, but in a different universe. Like Heartstopper, as we know it, kind of covers like LGBT. But these group of friends, this story, this environment feels like Heartstopper if it was set in like a different universe with a different storyline. And yeah, it's really nice. I mean, you know, I think this is a very well done film. It had me crying. It had me reflecting. It had me feeling so much more appreciative of the world and of the luxuries that we have and everything that we do take for granted. And I think that's exactly what they were trying to get through within this film. And I think this has been very, very overlooked. I feel like this film has gone very under the radar, and wrongly so, because this is a beautiful film. And I think everything that they've done is gorgeous about this film. You know, I really can't fault it. It's beautiful. And what they've done with it is, yeah, is really great. There's so many moments of sadness. There's so many moments of hope and positivity. There's so much fun and enjoyment to be had. There's also so many laughs within this film. You know, James Blunt makes an appearance and his scene is quite humorous. Like, it's just beautiful. It really, really is. It captures everything in like an hour and 40-minute film, which is very good. That's what I've got to say on Sunny Dancer. It's in cinemas across the UK right now. Before I wrap up, as always, what do I rate out of 10? Will it join my DVD collection? I'm giving it a very, very strong and solid 8 out of 10. I really, really enjoyed this film. Will it join my DVD collection? Absolutely. Fingers crossed it gets a DVD release. I mean, I know it's a kind of smaller scale release, but fingers crossed it does get a DVD release, a physical media release later on in the year. But there you go. Like I say, Sunny Dancer is in cinemas across the UK right now. In the description below, as always, is the movie plot, a link to the movie trailer, as well as a link to my movie review playlist. It features every single movie review that I've ever done. More to come soon, including The End of Oak Street. Dinosaurs are back. We'll talk about that as soon as I've seen it. Other than that, thank you very much for watching this video. I hope you have enjoyed, and I shall see you in another video and hopefully another movie review very soon.